and good day, everybody. Welcome to the Pinktron. I am Brent Robinson, and I am joined today by Steph Etienne. Steph, what are you drinking?
Just water. I did do a race already today. I might, if the if this recording is on time, I might do HSRL, but that will be a quickie.
Also joined by Maryline de Vlieger. Maryline, what are you drinking?
I've got a nice non-alcoholic IPA.
Oh, very nice. Terrific.
Which
And
brand?
It's I'll try to show a Playground IPA from
Nice.
Van de Streek.
it's a very fun can.
Yeah, it's very busy.
Very fun. That is John Keenan. John, what are you drinking?
I'm having the morning cup of green tea. So
Yeah,
no,
it is an unusual record time for the Pinktron. It is still before noon in the Pacific and Mountain time zones. And so, but I still like, let's see if Sean Fogenberg brings us home. Sean, what are you drinking?
Yeah, so it is 10 a.m. here. We're recording pre-race one, but in effort to not be boring while still not drinking alcohol, I've got a mango juice with lime and tahini.
Uh, Tahine.
what is tahine? Not tahini.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Tahini.
say.
It's a chili lime
Oh,
salt, like chili pepper, sea salt, citric acid, lime juice, like
okay.
yeah.
So it's like
Put
a
it on
mango
chicken,
chili
put it
sort of
in
thing.
your mango juice, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a basically do everything spice mix that, it's a Mexican thing that I yeah, just love it. Good
Sounds like
stuff.
Dr. Bronner's, but yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, and I have a coffee. It's from a local coffee roaster here called Rebel Bean. True story. Apparently, in most coffee batches, you get like one bean that roasts up white, which they call the Rebel Bean. That's what they named their coffee shop after, or coffee roasting company after. So that's what they provide here at the office as I'm doing this during the workday. But that's all good. And speaking of getting to work, HSRL is back. Race one of the new series this week. Maryline, what do we got?
We've got one lap of Watopia Figure 8. Just a HSRL classic, I think.
Indeed, I think that's fair.
The old
Um,
standard course.
Yeah, I think it's even the standard season opening course. I think we started last year with this one too.
All right. And so just to remind everyone, in Herd Summer Racing League, the racing is fastest through segment points racing. So the way you win is by being the fastest person through each one of the segments. And Watopia Figure Eight has four segments: the KOM reverse, the sprint reverse, which is like across the bridge to the sprint, if I recall correctly. Um, then the KOM forward, and then the sprint forward, which is from the other direction from the Italian villas back through the sprint. I think I've got all those right. And then finish. There are points for the finish. I can't remember. It's 50 points at each of the segments.
Yeah, it's 50 points for the fastest rider at each segment. And then I usually take 2/3 of the points for the segments and then 1/3 of the points for the finish. So this week it's 100 points for the winner at the finish.
Right. And in HSRL, it's cat-based racing, so they all start different times, right? Like it's 5 minutes between each.
Yeah, 5 minutes between each category. The D
Yeah.
start first, then 5 minutes after that C's, 10 minutes the B's, and then the A's go last after 15 minutes.
Which
Nice.
definitely does mean that in the longer races, there's a lot of strategy that comes into play about how hard you go, whether you're going to try and latch on to one of the faster groups coming up behind you uh, for a segment, those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's one of the things that always makes HSRL kind of fun, right? Is that tactical question of when to go, when not to go, all that kind of stuff. It's about a 30K route, so the total race for most groups will be in the 45-ish minute range. I suppose it's closer to 53 maybe for like D's, 50 for C's. A's will probably get her done under 45. I would think it'll be close,
Will
depending
depend
on
on
how
the,
hard they,
yeah, and the group size also for the A's.
yeah, and how hard they
Uh,
push in between. Like sometimes the A group can be very pedestrian between segments.
Probably depends on how good everyone understands the rules and has read the rules.
Yep, yep,
If you've got some A's just wandering into this race and going like it's a scratch race, then they will be pretty fast probably. But if they know the rules, should be a little bit easier.
yeah. And I mean, I suspect in this one it's going to be pretty chill till you get to the KOM reverse. There's not much there to really bother trying to break people up a bit. And then that'll obviously be crazy, crazy. What kind of John, Steph, what kind of KOM reverse times do you guys put up in like C's and D's? Like 4.5?
Can't remember at the top of my head because it's been a while
Uh,
since I've done it.
for reverse, the fast C's are in that 4.5 range.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I think the B's like in a group will do it in about 4-ish. A's just maybe a hair under 4.
Ju-
Yeah.
Mine is
Probably
well,
B's will be under 4. I got my best time a few years ago, probably that I said it, but it's 3:51. So
Oh, yeah.
and that was in a HSRL B race.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about these that HSRL is one of the ones that you usually get lots of good segment times because you get a big group all going as fast as they can. And that first KOM reverse is steep, steep at the start. So you got to really hold the group on that steep bit and then kind of I don't know what the best way to describe the rest of once you get it on top there through that dip, like
Head
fatigued
flat.
time trial.
It's a long.
Head flat.
Yeah, if you got a big group, yeah, I mean my herd climbers gambit's my best time, but I bet I could beat that with if there's any sizable group on it, right? Because you're gonna be going pretty fast once you get up that first bump.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. My time is, I think, when I was on probably just upgraded to C, I did it under just under 5 minutes, but that was not in a climbers gambit, but in the Zwift Hill Climb Club, one of those races.
Yeah. It'll be faster than that, I suspect, in this one.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the difference with HSRL and the Climbers Gambit bits or the Swift Hill Climb races is that it's you do have drafts with HSRL, so especially
yeah,
on the reverse climb after the steep bit, you'll benefit a lot of the draft.
yeah.
Yep.
And if you can catch that faster group, I don't know if the B's will catch the C's by the first hilly reverse, but that could be a real game changer. You could hang on to them for a little bit, but that's only what 12 minutes into the race.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's only about 7-8 kilometers, right? Maybe
Yeah,
less than
I
8.
don't think you're gonna have that. They're
I
not
don't think
gonna
they're
make you that fast.
no. I would be very, very surprised if the B's caught the C's or the A's caught the B's and that before that one, but I think they might catch them like either in it or in the descent because they're gonna be putting
They're gonna be flying up it.
30, 40
Yep.
seconds just in that one segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for race 1, the B group will be really fast because see a lot of 4.0, 4.1, 4.2 for 20 minutes. So there's a lot of big guns there. So they'll probably catch the C group very fast.
Yep. And then the timing then on the two sprint segments is really well, I mean, the fastest guys generally are the guys who are the best at coming from the back and slingshotting through the group in the sprint. Part of the reason they can do that is because they also know that the fastest sprinters and can be the most aggressive about hanging off the back. So it's always it's kind of a weird cat and mouse sort of thing, right? Where you've got really, really fast sprinters dragging off the back, but you can't quite go as slow as them. Like everyone fights to go off the back, but if it goes too slow, someone just accelerating into the thing will go fast through, especially on the forward side, because it's that downhill lead in and then a shorter segment. So there's less time for that slingshot to really work. So
Yeah, that one's hard because you can't accelerate as much. You're already at speed. So leaving a big gap is dangerous there.
yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
that
then
one's
Yeah.
more like going with the group, being at the back of the group, and then hitting it relatively early, while you're either still going down or just hitting the bottom of the bump, is going to get you the best time there.
Yeah, because that's a very short one. I just did it in one of the lap it up races, three laps of seaside sprint, so I know it pretty well. So yeah.
Yep. And then KOM forward is short and steep enough that I would not be too worried actually about the draft, frankly. I mean, you don't want to like be trying to maybe drop people, but I think you just gotta go your fastest, whatever you got left for KOM forward at that point, as fast as you can go. And definitely you don't want to be like off the back because you're gonna want to be in the group for the next sprint segment and you're going to try to get the front to the finish if you can. Or the fastest group you're with to the finish. So I would just be to the front of the group and go, essentially. Um,
As hard as you can, and then try to regroup after you hit the top for the sprint.
yep,
You be in the group for the
exactly.
sprint.
Exactly. Yeah, and then that forward sprint one, there you have more time to catch through on the group because it's a longer sprint segment. It's long, like it's 400 meters, and it feels long. Like I've been numerous times you come around that last turn of the bridge and you're ready to just die.
Mhm.
So be ready for that, and then it's from there up through the S's down into the finish and the normal Watopia. I don't know which direction you want to call that, but out of the S's to downtown banner finish.
Yeah.
That's the finish sprint starts basically by the time you hit the buildings. I guess a little bit past. It's kind of like the third building is like the 300-meter mark, I think, to go.
That's the Steve Pritchard Memorial Descent direction.
Did he try to go from the descent into town? Is that where the panache? Oh no, he
I
was
think
further back in the S's.
Yeah, he was in S's
Yeah.
attempt.
Yeah, man. If you can sprint and go with panache and take that one, that would be epic. And that I think is race one. Bike choice. What do you think, Sean?
On
Tron?
Net flat.
I mean, yeah, it could be. It's the point is like you've got a lot of points for the climbs, and that's where uh the bike is going to make a big difference. I think as long as you've got a good all-arounder, maybe I'm struggling saying like go arrow with with discs because you might lose enough on the climbs that it's not worth it. But then again, uh the hilly reverse it's fast. So yeah, I'll be on a Tron. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, me too. I think the other case I would make if you were going to do the full arrow would be if you're like a big watt sprinter. If you're a big watt sprinter and you want to like get number one on those ones and like those like 0.2s, 0.3s of a second might actually make the difference between you and the other super, super fast guys. But you're going to be like, third, fourth, regardless on the hills because the gap's going to be a little bigger, right? It's going to be like
Yeah.
kind of 2, 3 seconds. But it might make the difference between like a first and a fourth on a sprint if you're like right there. So that would be the other case I'd make if you were inclined. I think I'm drawn because I don't know. I got
Because
seven
you're a medium
climbs.
watt sprinter.
I'm a medium watt sprinter is probably very accurate. Very average. All right. Any other thoughts, tips? Everybody's gonna try and race. I don't know how I'm gonna get this in, but see
Probably
what I
try
can do.
tomorrow.
Yeah, for this season of HSRL, we're starting with the same rules as no spring chickens. So heart rate monitors is mandatory, and not in Swift, but it is on Swift Power. So you'll be filtered out if you don't have a heart rate monitor. And there's also the rule for the saving the races publicly. So if you end up on the podium, save your race publicly or just do it anyway. So that way I can verify the results and try to make the racing a little bit fair.
Can they set that after, or does it have to be in advance?
The public saving?
Yeah, like let's say someone
Yeah.
just didn't know or forgot and like gets screened out and they go
Yeah,
check
you
and
can
they
do it.
can.
You can do it after also. Yeah.
Cool.
Is there what's the structure of the series this time? Is it like a monthly series, or we like how many races in the first round of HSRL?
6 races,
6, okay.
and every race counts for the standings. So I try to make the season a little bit shorter to not take too long and people being away on vacation, and just trying to make it easier for people to go and race and don't miss any races.
Great.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'll talk about it later. But good. Yeah, excited to see HSRL back. It's going to be strong, and it's HSRL is a core herd experience. So it looks like numbers for signups look pretty good. So get in there and race and have fun. And that will bring us to herd beginner racing for the week. It's like we got Deuce Fonts, which is RGV backwards.
Yeah.
Intestines first, and
Yeah, intestines first, over the aqueduct reverse, and then all the flat bits to the finish. It is 25 kilometers. Is there a custom distance for this?
Looks like it's one lap
Shortest one?
for all the different CDs and E's.
One lap for everybody, so it's 25 kilometers, give or take.
20, yeah, 25.1.
24.1. Yeah. So, yeah, it's flat. I think, well, I know, Steph, it's like, do these groups tend to break up in like these? Like, would it just be everybody together and hang on for the sprint? And how does this usually shake out?
I was about to say I haven't been in D for a while, but depending how it goes for this route, the toughest part is at the beginning with the intestines. So if they don't push it, it probably will be a sprint near the end.
Good. Yeah. And I mean, fastest aero bike you got.
Yeah.
If it's beginners, you're probably just gonna be on something like Zwift Carbon with basics with wheels. If you got something like Canyon Air, because you're getting into like the 20s. I can't remember when the uranium one comes in. It's like maybe level 18 or something like that. Might get there pretty quick. So there's a few different options, but yeah, fastest aero or best all round or whatever you kind of got there. I don't know. Anything else to say about HBRs? I guess the thing is, if you're in those lower half of the D, remember everybody's coming out of the pin, get or take the same time. So you really, 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 if you can, hold on to the stronger racers as long as you can. It will be an advantage to you.
Yeah, this especially on this course, because if you can push a little bit more on the rollers, on those first rollers, and you can stay with a group, you'll have a lot of advantage of the draft afterwards, after you've gone over the aqueduct. Then it's just flat, and if you can sit in the group there, you'll gain a lot of time on those who can't.
Yep. Agreed. Anyone else got any thoughts on HBR? Nope. All right, that brings us to Climber's Gambit. Chris, what do we got?
Yeah, kicking off a new series now. This is going to be our Go Long series, standing in stark contrast to Punch Out. We're tackling the longest climbs that Zwift has to offer. So in order, we are starting with Keith Hill, then going Innsbruck reverse, epic forward, Innsbruck forward, epic reverse, and then finishing with the L, which is the first time we've done that in Climber's Gambit. So a nice 6-week series to mirror the same cadence as HSRL. I would say a chance to work on our, our longer power, our longer climb pacing, but starting it off with Keith Hill, which is the shortest of the group at 4 point something K, average gradient of 5, but as I put in the preview notes, it does count that little descenty bit in the first third of the climb, so it's actually a much tougher climb that 5% would tell you. So I'm going to climber on this one. Anybody else has any ideas otherwise?
No, I think climber, because I think when looking at this the Strava segment, I think it goes 8-ish, 7-8-ish% on that last section and above. So yeah, climber.
Yeah, which is just, it's a terrible idea. It's going to be awful. And then we got longer ones to follow. So I would encourage everyone to come out and smash your legs for a bit.
Yeah, gonna be.
I'm really happy you didn't include Van Top in there.
I was just going to call him a big chicken for not putting it in. Talking about the longest climbs, and he doesn't put the worst thing in there.
No, because then James would come out and do like a 45-minute effort.
Yeah, we don't want to accidentally murder Zwift employees.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Fair enough. We actually want people to show up too. No one wants to have the last Climbers Gambit be 3 people. Just James
it's gonna be fun. Back probably to the mediocrity as a C. Did very well. Won the last series as a C. Bit thanks to Kai Sander not showing up for the last race, but
big part of success in life is just showing up.
Yeah,
so let that be a lesson.
Yeah, but it was a fun one with Punch Out, and also this one probably maybe not gonna be for GC because I might miss one, but it's gonna be interesting for my good training for my 20 minutes or my longer power efforts.
This is not going to be the warm up for HSRL.
Nope.
Correct. Double headers will be few and far between. But if you want to make your hard days hard, this is a good chance to do it.
I think that the 20-minute-ish effort ones could still work.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an hour like that, it gives you 20-something, 30 minutes to recover after your climb, and then depending on what the HSRL looks like. One of the doubles that I did last year was epic reverse, followed by Eastern 8. So like that was
the lead in too. The lead in might bump you pretty close to that hour on some of them.
Yeah, depends.
Yes, especially the most of them are pretty good. Like max 5K lead-in, but for the epic reverse, apparently the fastest you can get there is through Climbers Gambits, which is basically a 20K lead-in.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have a look and see if there's one of the new routes gets you there faster, and if it does, I will update it.
I was gonna say, which way does Mountain Mash go up epic?
There's that epic one, but you don't hit the start banner because you're up above that first bridge.
Yeah, it starts at the jungle pens and it goes down, so you're missing the banner. That is the start banner.
Right. In terms of timing, I guess for Keith Hill, we should maybe say like I think for bees it's going to be 12 minutes. Maybe I've got an 11:37 up in a stampede, so you may see some bees get in the 10s.
I always forget which side Keith is and which side Lee.
Keith is like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Keith is the one where you start a climb right away. I think coming from the pens, because Lead Hill has that's like 20 minutes or 10 minutes non-segmented climb before that.
Yeah, Leith also has the flat bit on the top, so you get to the crest and you've got like 600 meters or something that's like pretty much flat.
Yep.
Isn't that Keith? Because I think
that's Keith. Yeah, that's. Oh, did I say Leith?
Okay. Was thinking was remembering Lead Hill goes. You finish straight after a wall. So yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe a bike change.
Yeah, maybe two, right? Do the flat bit on the arrow and then switch when it gets steep. Probably not going to make up 10 seconds in that period of time. And that's if you can do a bike change in 10 seconds. Good. All right. That's always good to see a new Climber's Gambit start. That will bring us to Mountain Goats, which has 2 weeks off. Is there no Mountain Goats this week?
Oh. That says next. Oh, well, so there's something on the calendar, but it does say 4/27, so I'm not sure. But it does say Ventop, so if there is one this week, it's Ventop.
Let's just see, maybe if it's already into Zwift.
No, I think I checked John's sign up for Sunday, and I think it still shows Bigfoot Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the best tradition of the Mountain Goats,
we don't know.
Right.
It might be Ventop, it might be something else, but it will be a hill or several.
I liked somebody's response. One of the guys was wondering about the Climbers Gambit series and being that the post will come very short to the start of the races. And somebody replied, "Well, if you want to cut it close, just do mountain goats. You never know, probably."
Yep. So I think that's the most preview. If it's Ventop, it takes forever. Just take your time. If it's something else, I don't know. You'll probably need a climbing bike. I'm not sure what other advice we could offer. And Stampede will be on hiatus one more week, and it will be returning the week of April 27th. It's all set up in all the normal time slots that we had the last time. The theme of the routes is flat, flat, flat. Everything is flat. It's going to try and be all your fastest times. And then I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but Sean and John will know what the distance themes are. They can figure it out. I didn't put them in order, but I randomized them. So if you figure out how I came up with the distances after it gets posted in Facebook after this, if you guess it, I don't know, I'll give you 2 bonus points in your Stampede score.
I was going to go with random number generator. Is that not the...
Well, it's random, but it's not all numbers. But you have to
so it's not Fibonacci. Okay, I'll have to look at it.
Check it out.
Numbers.
And
doing algebra? What are we doing?
Yeah, I've posted it. I've posted all the distances in the little Stampede schedule part of the tabs on our herd sheet. So
oh my god, I have enough problems every day with the New York Times like daily morning puzzles. Like I don't need another puzzle here, Brent.
Well, I'll tell all you guys off the air after.
Okay.
We'll and then thank you in advance to Alan Richardson, who's volunteered to do all the preview posts for this series, because I've been dropping the ball on that. So he's going to set them all up and let you know what you're in for.
He's volunteered to not be annoyed with Brent.
Well, he wanted to get back in Stampede, so he's like, "You set it up? Can I help?" So yes, you can help, and I've got it all set up, and he will do the preview posts and stuff like that. So thank you again to Martin and our friends at WTRL for helping with the scoring and getting it set up. So get ready to roll for the week while I'm in San Diego. Which brings us to the bullseye, which is Duchy Estate this week. Right? No, sorry, pardon me. LaGuardia Loop reverse.
Which one is that?
That's the
looks exactly like LaGuardia Loop, but
yeah, but
it's the one where you come from the north side, not the one where you have that little kicker before you go downhill in the sprint. That's the forward one, so it's the other way around.
The downhill in.
Yeah, I think it goes up a little bit towards the sprint bit.
So it's the clockwise bottom loop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you after the sprint you have that little kicker back.
Yep.
7 laps, 8 sprints. So the lead in is a sprint.
Yep.
Yeah, because the pens are kind of not on the loop, right? So there's a little bit off the loop, and then you go into the loop, and then yeah, start the
Yeah.
sprint. And away you go.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I mean it's bullseye, so it's first across the line. I don't there's not too much tactically that you can do that's fancy on that one, I find. I think it's just beat the guy to the line. Like it's a little bit downhill to start, a little uphill to finish, so don't wait, I guess is the only real tip I can offer. It's hard. It feels like you might make up ground at the end because that little dip comes. I find it's really hard to make up any time at the end on that one, in my experience. But full arrow, sprint
Yeah.
like mad. I think that's
Cool.
about all we can do with that one. All right, and that is your week in herd racing. Just quickie preview. What do we got next week on HSRL, Maryland?
2 laps of one of my favorite courses, not chain jumper.
Ah,
2 laps. Oh my God. 2 temples?
I was about to say, does it go up the tempo?
it's better than we did when we did 3 in the Herd Club Championships a couple years
Oh.
ago.
Is that a 3-lap effort?
That
I
was.
remember doing that.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah,
what?
that's
That brings us right into our round the horn topic is what are your favorite memories from HSRL as we get back into this one? This is, I believe, well, I don't know if has it always been called HSRL Herd Summer Racing? I can't remember if it was called that back
Yes.
in 2020. So this is round
was, yeah.
5, right? 2021, 2, 3, 4, fifth go round of HSRL. So I guess the one thing I haven't, we can kind of even do a little bit of a race review, but have you got like some, because usually it's an HSRL tradition to end the thing on like something preposterous, if I recall. I guess we're doing 6 weeks, but do we have something preposterous in week 6?
Stop it, Brent. Stop.
I'm asking, she already planned
Jesus.
it.
This is how we get in trouble with these things.
Week 6 ends on Vantop. Just a segment is Vantop.
Well, that is a thing we did. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, we did that once, I think.
I think we had a vent up.
Yeah, I can remember some Alps and some
Wasn't it
stuff
HS?
like and yeah, there was an Alp in the first series of HSRL, I think.
Well, and I think was HSRL finale not the 10, 9, 8, 7 laps of hilly? Was
Yeah,
that
that's
not an
one,
HSRL? That was
two.
that was
Yeah,
going to be what
and,
I was going to say is that
and
the
the
9
10
laps
laps
of
of
hilly.
Bologna, or was it 6 laps of Bologna?
Yeah, the Chris Greenland Memorial Fondo.
Yes, that one.
Yep.
For this HSRL, I kept it quite civilized because it's only 6 weeks. So if we do one of those insane rides every 6 weeks, it might be a little bit too much. So I went with Makeljen 2 laps.
Nice. 2
Oh,
laps.
2 laps.
2 laps.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit insane, but not too much insane.
Yeah.
I hope.
But 2 laps of Muckleyin, does that take you over the gravel 3 times?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was a
Makeljen-
gravel lead in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Makeljen only has a 200-meter lead in, or a little bit more, but it starts at the first champion sprints.
Oh, good.
So
Right.
only
Yeah,
2
you
times.
only- Yeah, you do each of the sides only once in one lap of Montpellier.
Cool. Good. So yeah, so this is the thing, this is the trouble we get into in HSRL is we do these sort of normalish sprint segment races. They're usually a little longer, and then we do something ridiculous at the end. Although, yeah, 2 laps of Muckagen is only medium ridiculous compared to Ventop, 10 laps hilly, 9. It was 9 for Bs, 8 for Cs, 7 for Ds, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that the Chris Greenland Memorial. I mean, I had to miss the actual Lauren and Sean and Chris all doing it together. I think I just came and drank a beer with you at the end of lap 6. Um, and then did it by I think I basically ended up by myself. I was in a race with like 10 people and basically time trialed it for the whole way.
Ooh, that's a lonely day.
Yeah, there was like we started off all together, but then the A's like dropped me, and there was one B guy, and that was about it. Um, you guys did drop in though and wish me luck, so that was pleasant.
Oh, that's nice of us.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't. Other than that, I mean, it's always I know I've set some really, really good times on some segments. Like that's part of the fun part of HSRL is especially like when you get late and the A's come through, and I suspect I don't know how much it works for out for C's, but like for sure, like there's been some ones that were like a dozen laps of Crit City or
16 or 24.
16. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Yeah,
like
15
just
and 16.
hammering some sprints up that hill. Um
I remember that one. It was not a good experience.
I like that one. That was good. But yes, you did get very, very tired trying to catch the A's up that hill.
Didn't help that we were like it was still a D, and I think we only had like 5 Ds in that race, so it was
Oh,
pretty much spread out all over the place. I think I got left in the end. So
yeah, well, that's the fun of the lap routes, true, stuff is you can really, there's that's part of the fun of the HSRL is like, okay, well, now I'm out, I'll wait if it's a lap route, like some of them it's a little longer, and I'll just like really cool my jets and wait for them to come around on the lap, and then I'll hammer the segment again and hold on because I'm already dropped anyway. That's part of the fun of HSRL. It's all that kind of stuff, and you get on Discord and you all breathe heavily with each other.
I
Yeah.
think personal highlights include my first season on Zwift, finding HSRL and not realizing what the rules were the first couple of weeks, and then having Bowser and Scott Anderson, a couple people like, hey, just so you know, this is what this race is, and like maybe you should go look at the herd, like join the herd Facebook group so that you know what's going on. That's how I ended up here, was from jumping into HSRL races, but then having like a few seasons long battles with those guys. That was good. And then races like Octobahn, some of these the really dumb races where it's just like Octobahn, the 3 of Chain Chomper, where I flubbed the first place on that one by or fumbled first place by flubbing a bike change. I did the bike, like switched to a gravel bike, did a great time up the third temple, but hit the button to hit the brakes and stopped right before the banner, and like had to get back out, pedal across, and at that point I had like lost the few seconds to the guy who I was fighting against. And then yeah, I think the Memorial Fondo is an all-time Zwift memory, even though it was definitely not a race at that point.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one. I raced that one as an A.
Oh, geez.
I got 5th out of 6.
Which one?
Medio Fondo
Oh
in
yeah.
2022.
I seem to, Dan Pedroza rode that Bologna event with us, right? Didn't he
Yeah.
lap us multiple times?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was,
But
yeah,
he was cheering us on.
yeah. He's like, hey guys, bye. And then on the way back down, zip, bye, hey. Him and the 4 other A's that were just kicking each other right in the face every climb. That was fun. I think, yeah, for me, like HSRL was like the first series that I discovered, like COVID lockdown Zwifter, figuring all this stuff out. I remember one time I, again, didn't know the rules, wasn't even on Zwift Power yet, entered in the wrong category, but just absolutely killed myself on an HSRL. And I remember going out in the backyard and just laying down in the grass for a good 20, 30 minutes because I was just so dead.
So
And that's how I
actually,
found the joy of herd racing on Zwift.
my third HSRL was the one where I finally figured out what the rules were, and the other riders that I was riding with were Scott Anderson, Bowser, and Chris. And
Oh, hey.
yeah, Chris. I think that was like the one that upgraded you to B. Was like when I think I was like, hey, that was amazing, really well done, because you like crushed us on every. It was a Watopia Hilly with like 4 or 5. It was like just a bunch of laps of Watopia Hilly,
Hmm.
and you won every one of them. It was like, how do you do it? And I think your answer was Nutella.
Yeah. Still valid.
But now we know the real secret is Miller Lite.
Both if you can. It's even better that way.
Exactly. So that summer of 2021 series was insane. We did Bigfoot Hills. June 11th, we did Petite Boucle, and June 18th was the Hilly. So in like 8 weeks, 3 of those were, 60 kilometers plus. Whatever that was, 49. Like, you guys think that we put hard stuff into HSRL now? Like, the pandemic was a different time, man.
Yeah, and there was
Yeah,
a
look,
little bit less good choice for points race
True.
courses. If I look at the first year of HSRL in 2020, there's courses like Volcano Come After Party, which is only one segment, which is the volcano, but it's still, I think that was the very first HSRL. It's still 40K, so 40K in only one segment. It's a completely different race than we do now with lots of segments and much more balanced, courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
yeah,
first year
look,
at HSRL was just last year. I'm looking at it, and I have several twofers on here, so maybe that's where I learned to do the twofer. But I think my main learning point was, as a new C, just push as hard as I could for the first 10 minutes until I wanted to throw up, and then I usually could gap at least a couple people in the C group. Sometimes hang on to a B. I think there's one, I feel like it was on the volcano, but I may be wrong, that the B group came through and I was able to hang on for a good kilometer or two. And it felt rewarding.
First HSRL was almost exactly 4 years ago, June 13th of 2020. So I guess I was a C.
yeah, for me, looking back at on Zwift Power on my Majesty, HSRL was also my first actual race. Looking back at it, but apparently it was a very good one. Eastern 8, directly 55-kilometer race to begin my Swift racing experience. But yeah, done that series, the first one every week, I think. Then after a while, I think stopped during the summer. Then I got upgraded, and I basically stopped doing HSRL. But I'm happy to do it again because I've done a couple of like for a while, because I'm ready to see about a half a year ago, I almost now, and in the first few races I did like ZRL or whatever race, I was immediately dropped, and was basically my goal was not to come in last. And but the last week I done a couple of the Z racing races, and I was able to hang on to the front group for a while. Finished like mid of the races. Like I did a lap, did already race today. They ended on Zwift Power 26 out of 44, and on in game 40 out of 80 people. So it's going good. So, and the numbers are also good. Just on ZRL TTT, I set my first ever to 3 watts per kilo, 20 minutes effort. Crack that milestone.
Nice. You're killing it.
Yeah, it's going good.
Amazing. Well, that's you know, here we all are 4 years later, sitting around on the Zoom and talking about HSRL. Who would have thought? So it's a tradition now. So we hope everyone who's listening is going to get into HSRL and go smash some segments, race hard, and get on the Discord and chat with your herders. It does. I will always encourage people to get on the Discord when they're doing, especially herd races. Some other ones, maybe
Yeah,
it's not so good, but herd is usually pretty reliable for some fun chat in the Discord.
yeah, experienced because I'm captain of the ladder team, and doing those with a group. It's so much fun to hear. We won our race on Wednesday. Was de-assing and just being in Discord for the final sprint, encouraging our people on, and then we knew we got a victory. The excitement, the cheers of everybody, and congratulating each other. It's so much fun.
Awesome. All right. I think with that, we will say thank you to Steph Etchen. Thank you to Chris Greenland. Thank you to Marilyn DeVleger. Thank you to John Keenan. Thank you to Sean Fogenberg. Thank you to everybody for listening. Steph's going to warm up, do a race right now.
Yeah.
Enjoy your races, everybody else too. Boo and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.